Hi everyone! If you follow coloring YouTube, you may probably notice that recently a lot of colorists filmed very interesting tag about their 10 favorite coloring books. And I enjoyed watching such videos. It's always interesting to know better other colorists and to learn better about their taste in coloring books and maybe to discover for myself some new books. And I am very grateful that lovely Barbara tagged me in her video and asked me to do my own tag about my 10 favorite coloring books. So let's start from the Magical Dawn. It's not the book which I use recently very often, and it's a pity because I have so many good memories together with this book. When I just purchased my first 3 books by Hanna Karlzon, there were a lot of finished works from Daydreams, from Summer Nights, and from Magical Dawn there were less finished works by other colorists, so somehow for me was easier to start from the third book. It's like I was able to do a fresh start without being afraid to repeat after someone. So that's why I consider Magical Dawn still my favorite book by Hanna, even if I have her next books, even if I do love her Soulmates and Jewelry Box, but still, in this book I experimented a lot. I did a lot of things to learn my various mediums better. Here I did a lot of interesting backgrounds, and I have here works from the quite earlier ones to quite complicated, where I used a lot of various mediums together. All of them are quite shiny. I always try to use a lot of metal watercolors, a lot of pearlescent watercolors. Of course, I thought that maybe one day I will be able to finish this book, but you know that when you have such a huge collection as I have, it's difficult. But still, I hope that now when I got this book from her shelf and when I looked again at so many pictures, various pictures which I finished here, maybe it's time to return to this book and at least to do a couple of pages more, because it still inspires me and I do love pictures here. You can see that I have a couple of started projects here where I started to do backgrounds and then I stopped some way, but I do want to continue to color here, so that's my number 1 in my top 10 favorite list. It's not like it's the most favorite book. I didn't put them in order from 1 to 10. All these 10 books I love in equal way. So the next one will be the latest book by Kerby Rosanes. And you also may notice that I didn't color a lot on this book. I finished so far only 2 pages. That's the second one. And that's the first one. And I think that my problem again is that now this book is so popular that I can see so many pictures from it on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, that somehow I feel that I am out of my own creative ideas. Of course, I know how I want to color almost all of these pictures, but still, I think that I want to wait a little bit more until this book will be less popular. Then it will be easier for me to color without any influence. So I love it. I like to work at all these pictures. I consider it the best book by Kerby Rosanes, but probably it has to wait maybe for months or maybe for 2 months more, and then I will start to color in it more frequently. Next, I have in my list book by Jasmine Beckett-Griffith, and it's total love. It's strange because in the very beginning of my coloring, when I discussed books by Jasmine Beckett-Griffith with my friend, I thought that they are so ugly, and how anyone would want to color such ugly faces, such strange pictures. And then I don't know why, I don't know how, but I totally fall in love, and now it's definitely one of my favorite books. Each and every painting, each and every coloring I did here, it was very easy for me. From the color choice to the pencil choice to the technical aspects like blending on this paper, I enjoy each and every moment. So maybe also I love it because I feel very free of out limits of any limits when I do color choice. Sometimes I get inspiration from paintings by Jasmine, but sometimes I love to do my own color palettes. I love that I can experiment with hairs, with faces, and quite often here I use a lot of dark colors. You know that very frequently my pictures in other books they are bright. I use almost the whole set of Prismacolors, but to use dark, it's unusual for me, and I'm glad that here I am able to do it, and it comes easier for me in this book. And now I totally love these faces, which previously I considered so strange. So, tastes change. Now let's go to another book where coloring always was quite easy for me, and I will be forever grateful for this book because it erased my horror from coloring animals. Animals in Kanoko Egusa books are drawn in so realistic way with such helpful texture of the fur or on feathers on the birds that they are very easy to do even for beginners, and that's why I am very grateful to Kanoko and to Menuet. I love Menuet slightly bit more comparing to Rhapsody. Rhapsody is also amazing book, but somehow in Menuet I have more finished pages. Another reason why I love it so much is because how my Prismacolors behave on this paper. That I am able to do the whole background using only pencils, which I usually don't like to do in other books, but on this paper Prismacolors are so soft and creamy that I usually enjoy doing even the backgrounds. And that's one of the books which I call like you can take away all my other books and I never will be bored with this one, with just this one book. And again I hope that maybe one day I will be able to finish it. Of course I move very slowly, but each month or each 2 months I try to add another finished project to this book. So it's very popular and I intend to continue in this way and slowly to fill in my minuet. Next, not so surprisingly, I have in my list 2 books by Selena Fenech. Let's start from animals. When I got this book, I never considered that it will be such a book for my heart. I already mentioned that I had a huge fear to start doing animals, but slowly from animals in Kanoko Egusa to not so realistic animals in Hanna Karlzon, I moved to these animals by Selena Fenech. And again, it was surprisingly easy to color them. Even on this not very great paper, I still was able to do fur texture, feather textures, and also it was very instructive. I am not that good at knowing animals and birds, especially in other countries in other parts of the world, so it was very interesting also to learn about flowers, animals and birds from Australia. And now I think that I have already got used to this paper, how to do background, how to do botanical elements here, so it's definitely one of my favorite books. And I look forward to do all of these animals. And of course, I had to include in my list this fairy tale book by Selena Fenech. First reason, it's because I love to color everything related to fairy tales. I love to color illustrations to the stories, to the novels. It's easy to do your color choice when you know what this picture is about. And of course, I am totally in love with the style of Selena Fenech. I have mentioned it already 100 times, but I still want to repeat how much I love her faces, costume elements, and the whole composition of the pages. Again, I have already got used to this paper. Usually I prefer to use polychromasis here, but for several pictures I also have used Arteza, so it's possible to color with various brands. And again, I'm sure that one day I will finish it. I love that here I can practice a lot of things. Here I remember it was interesting to do this light on the background and to create impression how both figures are highlighted from behind, to do this wooden texture. Here it was interesting to do of water and semi-transparent tail of the mermaid. So apart from enjoying this coloring process, I also have learned a lot thanks to this book. Next is not a surprise for you, and it's a book by Teresa Goodrich. It was difficult to select which one to include in my top 10, and in the end I decided that it will be Country Charm. Most of all because it has the diversity of subjects, it has interior designs, it has landscapes, it has some charming picnic scenes, it has animals, and it has pictures from all 4 seasons, so you will be able to find something inspiring through the whole year. And maybe it's because it's one of my earliest books by Teresa, so I did quite a lot of pictures here, and it's always on my to-do list. Many of these pictures are in my favorites, so it's my favorite book and favorite finished pictures. And finally, I decided to include in this list book which I hadn't started yet, but which I simply adore because I love its designs. I don't like its quality, but pictures are amazing, and I'm sure that one day I will finally start to color in it. If you are not familiar with this book, I will put a link in the end of this video for my review for the Legend Nouveau and Fantasy Nouveau books. They are absolutely beautiful, and I hope that one day color-alongs for this book will be on my channel. And for now, I simply use it as an art book for my inspiration. I had to put away part of the books to clear my table. So you know that to color everything related to fairy tales, legends, mythology, to color fantasy designs, it's the thing which I love the most. And so book which is quite similar to the Legend Nouveau is the book by Tomislav Tomic, and I selected not Zemlya Snova but Villain Sun. I think that Zemlya Snova and Villain Sun both are absolutely amazing, and the reason why I decided to include this one because it's slightly easier for me to color. Again, it's because in Zemlya Snova I saw so many nice finished pictures by other colorists that it's more difficult for me to do my own color choices, to get my own original ideas. And in Villain Sun I feel myself a little bit more at ease. I feel free to do something here which I am sure won't be a repetition from the works by other colorists. I'm still not sure which pencil brand I prefer to use here. Sometimes I use polychromoses, sometimes I use Prismacolors, and it's a pity that I am not able to use watercolors here like people can in Dutch edition, but still I think that this book can keep you occupied during the year or maybe even several years. I hope that one day I will even be so brave that I will start to do this huge picture which I love in each and every detail. Sorry guys, it was attached to my book, but ups and downs. But anyway, I hope that I will be able to do it one day. And for now I slowly do pictures which I find the most interesting to do in this book. And the last item in my list is a book by Anastasia Calderiva. I decided that I will include it in my list because it was the book where first I realized that I enjoy coloring portraits. Before, when I colored girls in Hanna, Karlzon or in Maria Trolle, it also was quite terrifying for me and I never was happy with the final look of my girls. But here I think that I love each and every picture which I have finished. They are not so much, but I love them. I try to test here various color combos for skins, for hair, so they look different. Mostly I work here with polychromoses, but paper is good for all pencil brands. So somehow this book deleted my terror from coloring faces. Maybe it's because drawing by Anastasia are so good. Maybe it's because here we have a very helpful light gray shading, but this book really helped a lot of my self-confidence. I hope that this video wasn't very boring. I know that I have shown all these books and I already have told about my feelings towards them many times because they appear in my videos quite frequently. But I thought that I want to do this tag because it will be interesting for myself also, maybe to return to this theme in a year and to look how my tastes do they change, or maybe I still will be coloring in the same books, I still will be enjoying the same artists, or maybe I will be able to find something new and inspiring for me, like I returned to a romantic country book after 4 years of abandonment and now I enjoyed coloring in it. So I hope that it wasn't very boring. I thank you for listening. For me it wasn't very comfortable to do it, not a voiceover, but to record my voice together with pictures, so please be patient with me. I was a little bit nervous. Thanks for watching and I will see you very soon, and I think that one of these books definitely will appear in one of my next color alongs.